So the other night, during the first Tory leadership hustings, we had the Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak answering questions from the Tory members. Something was missing, most of the media missed, which was about Liz Truss and her answer when it comes to energy security. Finally, a politician that was robust in her response when it comes to extracting shale gas as well as promoting the cleanest energy, which is nuclear. Let's get into it.
Gentleman in a check shirt. Sir, your name if you would.
Peter from Tadcaster. Good evening, Liz. I'd like to ask you a question in relation to energy supply. So this winter is going to be very, very challenging for the people of this country. Is it time that we re-looked at shale gas extraction?
So, firstly, glad to see the Tory members are clapping, so that's good that there is consensus in the room, at least from one political party, but that's the answer.
I support fracking in areas where people want it to happen. And I do think it can be part of the solution, as well as releasing more of the North Sea gas reserves. But more of the North Sea gas reserves will be quicker. We also need to do more nuclear power. And in particular, so we are...
That's the other one. So until now, this whole discussion around nuclear became a bit of a taboo in the British political system, up to a point where some of the so-called conservatives also became against it. It's good that we're talking about gas. It's also good to talk about, again, clean, safe and affordable nuclear plants. Smaller and easier to build, easier to maintain, safer to maintain. And of course, when it comes to fracking, the way Liz Truss wants to address it, that's the right way. That you get the consent of the local people. You don't completely centralize the whole thing. That is a good idea. And after this bit, Nick Ferrari is going to ask a very interesting question.
We are now producing small modular reactors in Derbyshire. We should be having more of those in the UK, but also exporting them around the world. So it's a business opportunity for us as well. But I agree with you, it's going to be a tough winter, and we need to make sure we're doing all we can to lower bills and increase supply.
So you're in favour of shale. How would you determine if local people supported it?
That's interesting. On the one hand, of course, Nick Ferrari is just simply hosting and asking questions. So you would say, you have to play devil's advocate. He has to just ask tough questions. But this is a stupid question. Obviously, it's a stupid question because we know how you're going to get the consent of the local people. But you could say, well, he has to ask it because he's just creating an opportunity for Liz Truss to talk about it. But it is absolutely idiotic to even ask the question.
Well,
you should only proceed if local people. Am I right?
Absolutely. And
so how would we work out?
I also think that one of the ways that we gain local support is for people sharing the benefits of, for example, gas extraction.
But would you poll people? Would you send around asking them to vote? How would?
This is the. So it was so stupid that the first time we asked, Liz Truss didn't actually get the points, so she decided to answer something else. Second time he asked, she's like, oh, he really wants to know how you get the consent. There is a way, this way.
We've got these things called councils who can assess local opinion. Well, I was on a planning committee of the council, which is not the best experience I've had in my life. But local authorities, local MPs, we gauge public opinion that way.
I mean, it's not really rocket science, is it? Of course you're going to get there, but the problem here is that in this country, for way too long, decades and decades, we've centralized everything up to a point where local authorities and local councils are either powerless or it filled with a bunch of local councillors from various political parties, especially Tory and Labour, who simply don't really care about the local council. They are just councillors to become the next member of parliament. They are just doing it for their CV, so they could put it on their CV and say, look, I was a local councillor, I distributed leaflets, I knocked on doors, I had conversations at the doorstep with people, real people. So local councillors are not really operating the right way because we haven't given them actual powers, and people are scared to give them real powers because they've been incompetent until now. So people say, well, let's just rely on the Whitehall civil service and establishment and parliament. We could just run things from London, can't we? Well, no, we can't. And yes, I agree right now, it will be a big risk if you give full power to local councils with the current people in charge, it's not really a good idea either. But we have to slowly change it. We have to completely decentralize the country so that we don't really create alternative secondary centralized powers like in Holyrood with the Scottish Parliament or the Welsh Assembly. We actually make it localized and give real power to real people. But right now, it's not happening. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Tousi and we are the media.